Good evening to all of the monsters and ghouls, and especially the nerds out there. Welcome to a very special edition of Fandoms You. Today is a very special lesson on one of my favorite holidays. Please come in, take a seat, and prepare to give yourself to me.
Thank you for that introduction, Professor Drake Eula. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, Dracula.
Okay. Well, thanks, and I'll take it from here. Hi, everyone. I'm Mickey, also known as Professor CWK here at Fandoms U, and we're talking Halloween. So Halloween, as we know it today, has a rich and diverse history with roots in various cultures and traditions. And it has evolved over the centuries into the modern holiday we know now. So if you'll turn your attention to the board, we'll get into it. Halloween's earliest origins can be traced back to the Celtic festival of Samhain, which was traditionally celebrated approximately around November 1st in what is now known as Ireland, United Kingdom, and northern France. Samhain marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of a long, harsh winter. There would be giant celebrations of bonfires, sacrifices, and dances in honor of the sun, hoping to entice it to stay just a little bit longer. Celts also believed that on the night before Samhain, the boundaries between the living world and the spirit world were at their thinnest. They believed this allowed druids to speak with the spirit world, and with those spirits still roaming the earth. But that also meant that this was a chance for the evil and mischievous spirits to wreak havoc. So Celts would smear their faces with ash or wear masks to keep the evil spirits at bay. But as we know, the Roman Empire would soon invade and conquer the Celtic territories. And they would introduce elements of their own festivals that take place during this time of the year, such as Fernalia, which is a day to honor the dead, and Pomona, which is a celebration to the goddess of fruit and trees, whose symbol was an apple. Over time, these traditions would evolve, along with Samhain, and merge more and more. But it was the 7th century that Christianity would come along and blanket all of these holidays with its own. All Saints' Day on November 1st and All Souls' Day on November 2nd. But some traditions die hard, and eventually the night before All Saints' Day would become known as All Hallows' Eve. Each of these Christian holidays incorporated some elements from the culture and traditions of Samhain. Bonfires were still lit, the harvest season was still celebrated, but new traditions began to pop up. One such tradition was souling, where the poor people in town would go along, knocking on doors, asking for food, ale, and specifically soul cake in exchange for prayers. And over time, prayers would evolve into songs and jokes. Now fast forward to the Great American Migration.
On the boats and on the planes, they come into America.
European immigrants, particularly the Irish, brought their Halloween customs to America in the 19th century. And these traditions would continue to evolve, incorporating elements from various other immigrant groups and influences. The Irish folktale of Stingy Jack would bring us the jack-o'-lantern. Souling would become trick-or-treating, but it would be combined with the Scottish tradition of guising and the German tradition of besnickling, in which costumes became a huge part of the practice. But it wasn't until the early 1900s that Halloween started to take off nationwide. In Hiawatha, Kansas, a woman named Elizabeth Krebs would throw a Halloween party to prevent the local children from vandalizing her garden as they so often did on Halloween night. Unfortunately, it would prove fruitless, and the community would suffer vandalism just like it did every year. But the next year, 1914, she would expand this party to the whole town. They would have live music, costume parties, food, treats, decorations, and even a parade. And this time, it was a success. People of all ages enjoyed the festivities, and it drastically cut down on the destructive activities that would usually take place on Halloween night. News would spread, and surrounding towns and communities would adopt the same practice, having their own Halloween festivals, and it would continue to spread far beyond, making Elizabeth Krebs kind of like the mother of modern Halloween. Of course, it was only a matter of time before Halloween would become a lot more commercial in nature. Costume parties, trick-or-treating, all of the folklore and superstitions became popularized. And the candy and costume business would skyrocket, becoming billion-dollar industries. Today, Halloween is celebrated around the globe, but most widely so in the United States and Canada. It has evolved into a holiday characterized by costumes, haunted houses, parties, decorations, all with an emphasis on children and the tradition of trick-or-treating. But of course, adults also enjoy dressing up and participating just as well. So there you have it. Halloween has a complex history with deep roots in Celtic, Roman, Northern European, and Christian traditions. Over time, it has evolved into a modern holiday with unique practices and traditions, which makes it a festive and spooky celebration that can be enjoyed by people of all ages. We here at Nerd Initiative hope you have the most frightfully fun Halloween this season. And don't forget to celebrate in a safe and respectful manner, because people are just as diverse as the types of candy in your trick-or-treat bags. Enjoy yourselves and don't forget to share those Halloween costume pics for a little bit of extra credit. Have a great one.
Yes, have a great one.